Welcome to part 2 of why you should study abroad. We already went over why you should and how the initial process works, and this time I'm just gonna kind of go over my experience because I didn't do that. You guys don't even know where I studied abroad. Later I will end up doing an episode on what it's like to be abroad, what it's like to come home, but for now, this is what we're doing. As I said before, studying abroad was one of the best decisions I ever made. I always wanted to study in another country. I wasn't sure when or where, but I knew I wanted to. So at first I was not super stoked about going abroad the second semester of my junior year because I was going to come back and hop right into my senior year and I was going to miss the last semester of my current senior friends, but it is what it is. My friend group and I also decided that if any of us study abroad, we were going to try to do it in the same semester so that we wouldn't have to end up spending like an entire year apart. We'd all be gone at the same time. So by the time we got it together, we decided on the spring semester of our third year. Two of my sorority sisters studied in Spain, one studied in Australia, and then my best friend and I studied in Scotland but at different schools. So I ended up choosing Scotland because I wanted to go somewhere that spoke English, so that kind of put me between the UK or Australia. And the specific school I wanted to go to in Australia quit doing an exchange with my school. So I was like, but never mind. And focused on the UK. And once I focused on the UK, I did some research between which schools my school did an exchange with and ended up with the University of Stirling. I really can't imagine my life right now if I hadn't gone abroad to the exact country, to the exact school, at the exact time that I did. Because I met people who I can't picture my life without, and I grew close with acquaintances I sort of knew that I also can't really imagine my life without anymore. And I was able to visit places there's no way I would have been able to visit. So I studied at the University of Stirling, which is right in between the two largest cities in Scotland, which are Edinburgh and Glasgow, which my Scottish friends make fun of me for the way I say both of those, and I try so hard, but I probably said them wrong. And it was everything I dreamed of because I was able to get from place to place real easily, within the country and outside of the country. My best friend was like a 3-hour train ride up in like north of where I was. So she was a little bit further from things, but it was also kind of perfect because if she wanted to go anywhere else, she kind of had to go through where I was. So I got to see her all the time. The University of Stirling was great. Obviously, I had my complaints. Like, to this day, I will complain about how far my flat was from literally anything, or how there was no diners in town and no sunshine. But obviously, the things I loved far outweighed the things I was not a fan of because I can't shut up about it. I was honestly so lucky to have my best friend there. It was good for both of us because since we were at different schools, we were forced to make our own friends. But then we were able to do big, scary things like going to other countries with each other who we knew and loved and trusted. So that was a huge bonus. So Maddie and I ended up visiting my sorority sisters in Spain, which was really cool. And we met up with another group of High Point students, and we went to Austria and the Czech Republic and Hungary together. And then Berm and I also got to go to Italy, France, Belgium, and Amsterdam. So it was pretty sweet. And my friend group at Stirling, we all went to Sweden as well. But I still loved Scotland, and I pretty much covered every inch of that country, except for St. Andrews. I don't know why, it just never happened. When I was abroad, I felt very much myself. I was able to grow a lot and experience more in 6 months than I had probably my whole life. And so that I wouldn't forget it, I vlogged the entire thing. Of course I did, because I'm me. I've done journaling before, and I always fall behind, and then my journaling is terrible, and it's just like, this is what I did today, the end. So it was cool to vlog, and you can watch them on my YouTube channel. Like, I used my iPhone, so it's not wonderful footage, but it's pretty fun for me to go back and watch. Also, I was really lucky, and my semester ended just around the same time that High Point was doing graduation, so I was able to go back for graduation and surprise my favorite seniors. I honestly don't feel like I missed out on that much back home. What I was doing abroad was to me, far more interesting than whatever was going on back at school, especially because at school I had already been doing all of that for 3 years. So I didn't really feel like I missed out on a lot. I did. I had FOMO for like certain events and stuff like that, but it wasn't like crippling, and it didn't hold me back at all. I loved being in Scotland. It's a magical place. I encourage everyone to go visit. Spend at least 3 weeks there. It took me like 2 weeks to get used to the time change. So spend a lot of time there because it's just lovely. And I love traveling. And once you get to Europe, traveling is so much cheaper. So spend a lot of time there if you go. Try to. Do what you want. But that's what I would do again. Like when my friends and I went from, I think we took a bus from Hungary to the Czech Republic for $9. Like, what? Can you imagine if we could go to different countries out here for $9? Oh, I did do some school while I was there too. So next month I'll talk more about the logistics of physically being abroad and what school is like and what people are like and what it's like to have a social life and what nightlife is like and all that good stuff. But for now, this is it. I would like to give a shout out to my favorite Canadians, Scots, and Americans. Long live the land. Oh, and as a side note, my flatmates who became my close friends who were Canadian, they went on this like weekend trip to the Highlands with a group of students where they met these other American students, one of which grew up in my hometown, went to one of my rival high schools and played football with my cousin. So we ended up all in the same friend group, and it's just so odd. Like, why did we happen to meet in another country? Life's crazy. Anyways, I'm afraid to go back to Scotland because if I do, I may never return. We'll see.